Okay, guys, we are on chapter 9, part 2 of Stick Dog Wants a Hot Dog by Tom Watson. Okay, so they thought they had a plan, but then they said there was one problem. It didn't work that way. Here we go. So Karen, here she is, raised her head ever so slightly over the top of the sheet. When she did, she could see what Peter, the Frankfurter man, was up to. And do you know what he was up to? Nothing. He was just standing there at his Frankfurter cart. He was looking around a little bit, sometimes away from the sheet the dogs were hiding behind, sometimes toward it, but never directly at it. He never turned all the way around. He leaned down to make sure his shoe was still tied. Then he double knotted both of his shoelaces. He rang the bell on the cart once. Another time he kicked a little pebble next to a wheel of his cart. A minute later he rearranged the ketchup and mustard and salt and pepper, putting them in order from tallest to shortest, ketchup being the tallest. Then he rearranged them from the skinniest to the plumpest, ketchup being the skinniest. And there he is rearranging. Peter Frank. Well, all this looking around and rearranging of the condiments resulted in 3 things. 1, a very tidy Frankfurter cart. 2, a long period of time when Peter didn't quite look away. 3, an extremely tired stack of dogs, especially the ones at the bottom. And do you know what happens to an extremely tired stack of dogs, especially the ones at the bottom? Here's what happens. Do you have a guess? What do you think is going to happen? Here we go. The stack doesn't stay so solid and straight. It starts to wobble a little, it bends a little bit, then it bends a little to the right, and then it bends a little to the left. It sways a little bit forward, then it sways a little bit backward. And do you know what happens when more time passes and the dogs, especially the ones at the bottom, begin to get even more tired? Well, that's when the swaying and the tilting start to get even worse. And that's exactly what happened. Hold still down there, Karen said. I'm trying, said Poo Poo. He hasn't looked away yet? No, not yet, said Karen. He's moving the mustard again. Stick Dog caught up to the top of the stack from his position at the bottom. What about Phyllis? Yeah, Mud added, wanting to know too. What about the Frankfurter Assault Squadron? Where are they? They're still in the maple tree, Karen observed. It's only 1 tree away from the cart. In another minute or two, the Frankfurter Assault Squadron is going to be in the next tree, the one with the branches hanging over the cart. They'll be able to drop down to grab everything. Coupled with how tired they were becoming, this news made them all feel very discouraged. What about now? Has Peter moved yet? Asked Mutt. My back's killing me. Not as much as my tail, said Stripes. That's because you bit yourself, said Poo Poo. Did not. Yes, you did. We all saw it, right, Stick Dog? Shh, answered Stick Dog with a groan. I just have to get those Frankfurters. I'm so hungry. Is he looking away yet? The 4 other dogs gathered all their strength, inhaled deeply, and concentrated on holding still and keeping the stack steady. They desperately hoped that Karen would answer positively. Karen peeked at Peter again. He was moving all the condiments back to their original positions. Nope, was all she said. At this answer, the stack of dogs began tilting and swaying worse than ever before. It was like all the concentrated energy they had all used while waiting for that final answer from Karen had sapped their remaining strength and stamina. And when they were disappointed with Karen's answer and Peter had not yet turned away, their remaining energy just evaporated. It was inevitable. The stack was going to fall. Do you know what inevitable means? It means when something is definitely going to happen, no matter what. It's like if there's one time you don't know the answer in math class, then it's inevitable that the teacher will call on you. Or it's inevitable that it will start pouring rain when you're the only 1 block from your house. Anyway, it was inevitable that the stack of dogs was going to fall. It leaned right, and they all shifted their weight to the left. Then it leaned left, and they all shifted all their weight to the right. They regained an even balance just for a second, then the whole stack began to lean backward. And to correct that, they all began to lean forward. But this time, they leaned too far forward. All right, guys, lean to the right, lean to the left, lean back. Now lean forward. 1. Here's what happened. Karen snagged her nose on top of the edge of the sheet. 2. The laundry sheet itself came unhooked from the line. 3. Stick Dog did everything he could to keep the stack on top of them. He really wanted those frankfurters, and he started to stagger forward with the 4 legs moving, jiggling, wiggling, swaying, and stumbling on top of him. Now from the back, it looked like 5 dogs piled on top of each other, all tangled up in a sheet, stumbling all over the place. But that was only from the back. From the front, it looked very different. Very, very different. How different? How about if we just let Peter, the Frankfurter man, describe it for us? And we're going to stop right there, and we'll see how Peter can describe it. Oh my gosh, guys, we are in the final part, and tomorrow we will be finished with the book. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think Peter saw? How did he see this image? And are they going to get those Frankfurters? Hot dogs? I don't know.